Welcome to part one of refinishing our hardwood floors. If you're new here, my boyfriend and I just bought our first house and have been spending the last month renovating our 1940s home. One of the biggest projects I knew we had to tackle was refinishing the hardwood floors. I love that this house has real hardwood floors, but they weren't in the best condition, and honestly, I wasn't a fan of the yellow looking stain. There's also two different types of wood in this house, since at one point the previous owners had built onto the home, so I had a yellowish orange wood in one portion of the house, and then a more red toned wood in the other. Now, I'm all for little DIY projects here and there, but I've never done a project like this before. So this is one of those times where if I can figure out how to do this, you definitely can too. The first thing I did right when we got the keys to this house was rip out the carpet from both bedrooms, and I found this really dark stain on them. They were really pretty, but just not the look I'm going for this whole house. Now, I would definitely carve out 1 to 2 days at least for the sanding portion of this project. Rent a drum sander and an edge sander. You're gonna wanna go with a 36, 60, and 100 grit. So you basically need all three grits because you're supposed to repeat the sanding 3 times throughout the entire house. Yep, 3 times. We started by doing a practice test in one of our closets so we could get the hang of the drum sander. While Tim worked on that, I was using the edge sander, and this was the worst. This thing was so strong. It has such a kick to it, and you basically have to punch on the floor, getting all the edges of the wood while you're fighting to keep it in the spot you want. It was really rough. The sandpaper literally flew off my edger, so make sure you have everything secure and you're prepared to have some back pain. We dumped the dust collector bag every time it was about halfway full, and there was so much hardwood floor dust. You definitely need to wear a respirator mask because the dust will get everywhere. We kept going at it in each room and slowly started getting through the layers of stain on these hardwood floors and getting to the beautiful raw wood underneath. For past 2, Tim and I switched sanders for this since the edger was truly terrible. My back was in so much pain from hunching over it, and after taking about 6 hours just to do the first pass, we were both ready to switch. The drum sander was so easy. Trust me, don't be nervous of this machine. It's really easy, and I went from breaking my back to putting on headphones and listening to music and actually having fun. At 11:30 at night, we were a little crazy and decided to just push through to the third pass and get it all done. By 3 a.m., we finally finished sanding the house and we were exhausted. I don't suggest doing this all in one go. Definitely take breaks and break it up over 2 days so it's way more manageable and you're not physically drained like we were. The raw wood is so pretty, and I'm praying I can stain them just like this so I can preserve that light tone. We went through and touched up a few spots with our orbital hand sander and detail sander for all the edges just to make sure everything was perfect. Although this was a really long, exhausting project, it was absolutely doable. Stay tuned for part 2 when we apply the stain.